Why does the West not want Africa to be sovereign and united? Because a sovereign, united Africa is the one thing that could collapse the global power structure overnight. You hear me? Let me break it down. Uncut. 1. Raw. Materials equal raw. Power. Africa sits on the richest damn treasure chest on the planet. 90% of the world's platinum. 70% of the coltan, used in smartphones and missiles. Massive reserves of oil, gas, gold, diamonds, rare earths. If Africa owned its resources fully, controlled production, and set prices as one block like an African OPEC, Western economies would choke. They'd lose leverage, prices would spike, and their industries would suffer. So what do? Keep Africa fragmented, destabilized, and dependent on Western aid that's just a leash in disguise. 2. Pan-Africanism is dangerous to them. A united Africa means one currency, one army, one trade bloc, one voice at the UN. That's 1.4 billion people moving as one. Game over for neo-colonial control. That's why they killed Patrice Lumumba, undermined Kwame Nkrumah, and backstabbed Thomas Sankara. Every time an African leader tried to rise and unify, boom, they were branded a dictator or eliminated. You see what I mean? 3. Economic colonialism 2.0. The West doesn't need to send armies anymore. They use the IMF and World Bank, offer loans with hidden chains, austerity, privatization, currency control. Multinational corporations strip Africa's resources and pay crumbs, all while exploiting tax loopholes. Media propaganda push the image of Africa as poor, unstable, and corrupt, so no one takes African voices seriously. They want Africa desperate enough to keep accepting help, but never powerful enough to say no. 4. Military control. France still has troops and military bases all over West Africa. The US has AFRICOM watching everything. Why? Because if an African bloc starts talking independence, guess who shows up with counter-terrorism excuses? Exactly. Bottom line, the West doesn't fear a poor Africa. They fear a woke, sovereign, and united Africa that stops begging and starts building. An Africa that doesn't need to ask permission. An Africa that creates its own internet, banks, and space programs. And let me tell you something brutal. They'll do everything to prevent it. But guess what? It's coming anyway. Slowly, painfully, but undeniably. You still with me, or did that hit too deep?